Who said you can't go home? Real Estate Exposed, brought to you by Signature Real Estate. Real Estate Exposed is all about helping homeowners and those who would like to be homeowners and those who would like to get into real estate.
Three hosts?
Like checking me already.
Three hosts. Two hosts, one host,
And
no
then there was
host. Well, hello, everybody. We are Real Estate Exposed. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's live, yes. You're a little bit delayed. I'm Vandana Bhalla, corporate broker at Signature Real Estate Group, and your host here at Real Estate Exposed. To my right, this excited ball of sunshine is Valerie Grijalva. I forget her title every single time, but I know she works for Chicago Title. That's all that matters,
You're
right?
sporting the colors.
You're
and
like
everything.
a VP of something.
Yeah.
You're
Yellow
VP
and
of
black.
something.
She's
Black
a
and
VP
yellow,
of
black and yellow.
everything.
Everything.
Very important person.
Black and yellow,
VIP.
black and yellow.
Black and yellow.
That's a song. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
That's funny. Shelly knows it now. Before you used to call it something else. You used to do something else. You don't know lyrics all that well. So that right there, by the way, is the non-lyrical Shelly Panzarella.
Yeah. Just hit me up on a
with
karaoke and I got the
Prosperity
lyrics
Lending.
down.
That's right. Karaoke's your thing.
That is, yeah. I just make up my own words.
We didn't have a karaoke at our awards banquet this year.
Thank God.
Did we have it before? That was Christmas.
Nope. We
didn't have a Christmas.
We never had it before. We did have a Christmas. We just didn't
did.
have a company Christmas
Yeah.
party.
I think a karaoke during
Actually,
awards is probably not
you weren't
very-
invited.
Oh,
that's gonna hurt.
That's gonna leave a mark. Wow. The cat fight's out already.
Oh, come
Wow.
on. For 2 weeks, I wasn't invited to the awards banquet. Which, by the way, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Number one team in the company.
Holla.
Number two
Holla.
agent for 2020, and then number two agent in the company for 2020.
That's awesome. Who's
Right?
that?
Me.
Just in case you weren't there, you didn't see it on Facebook.
Oh,
you
I
didn't see it
didn't-
all posted
yeah.
on every other media
awesome.
channel.
What?
Did I?
On channel
You did
8.
not congratulate me.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's awesome. Wow.
We're catching Valerie up here. That's what the
Sorry.
show's going to be
It
about
is.
today. It's going to be catching Valerie up. As
And
you
what-
notice, Brandon's not here. He is sitting out in sunny somewhere.
Is he there yet?
I don't know.
Where
but
is
it's
he?
sunny wherever he is, I'm assuming, because he left us here.
It's still
By
sunny here.
ourselves. It's still sunny-ish here. I walked
So
in
you
here
have-
sweating.
You have a large chair to fill as far as his content
You're
and
calling
everything.
him fat?
Oh! No.
No.
That's
So
not nice, Shelly.
I'll tell you right now.
Brandon, you're beautiful.
Brandon's
I don't care
job
what they say.
You're
in this
beautiful.
show is to make sure he signs all the commission instructions during the show.
Gotcha.
He also checks
could
his
do that.
emails and
Gotcha.
responds
Oh,
back.
that's right.
All right, I could do that.
So
Yep.
just so
So-
you know, that's what we're expecting from you today.
Perfect.
Pay
We're
no
doing it.
attention to us at all.
None. I can see why he sits in the middle. You
Yes.
get whiplash going back and forth here between the
Tennis
two
game.
of you. Yeah, it is like a volley.
Well, it's funny because I'll say something, then Shelly will say something, and Brandon will start, and then I'll say something, and then Shelly will say something, and
Oh
Brandon
my
will start,
gosh.
and then we just keep cutting him off. But
Beta.
we don't mean to do it.
Help,
we do
Beta.
love you.
Help.
You're going to be fine.
Help.
We're talking
Beta.
about Brandon we love and also Valerie. I
Yes.
got to share this on, otherwise nobody will follow us. I'm posting it right now.
Oh, that's right. And Shelly's job on the show is to make sure that she's
Tom
always
is here, though. Our one
Yep,
follower
we
is
don't
here.
talk about him.
Yes.
So let's go into. Let's talk about really quickly new listings, you guys. They're
have-
up this week
What are they
A
up?
lot?
to 800. No. To 862 listings for the last 7 days that came on. That's a
That
little
is a
bit
lot.
higher. That's about 100 higher than last week, I want to
Yeah.
say.
Is that Tony Shea's properties? Is that
That's what I thought too. See, she was paying
Ooh,
attention.
I was the
Tom
other
Blanchard
listener.
has given us a no.
I was the other
No.
listener.
Were they your listings?
And then, yeah, right. And then we had, Tom, do you take listings?
He used to be a big time
Sometimes.
listing agent.
Sometimes. He says sometimes. And then we have, what's the other stat that I normally check on?
Sales price, highest sales price.
Sold properties. Okay, so
Okay, that too.
sold properties in the last 7 days, 1,269, which is actually higher than last week. And the least expensive sold property is not $32,000. It is
65,000.
$53,000.
Wow.
You have to let Valerie
Who-
add answers.
Yeah,
Valerie,
no.
where is it? How much is it?
53,000?
Yes.
So North Las Vegas.
Perfect. You did Brandon just perfect.
Yeah,
That's exactly what
like
happens
that.
here.
I watched. I studied.
I studied.
Good job.
Studied my mentor.
You're good.
Highest
Understudy.
priced?
3.2.
No. Stop
Sales?
looking. Yeah. sales.
Can you
I
see
can't
that
see
far?
anyways.
Dang, you got some microbiotic
I
eye.
pretend that I can see. I can't see anyway. So
It's in Askaya.
Ooh, that's in the millions.
Yep. Yep.
3.2 million.
Double it.
No.
And then add
6.4.
And then add 5.
11
plus 5.
100,000.
11 million?
Oh. 500,000. $6.9 million.
Wow.
So I did not realize that Askaya, so they've built homes now and are starting to sell them again, because before all you could do was buy the lot and then somebody else built them. So now we've got some people that are building them. So we've got a viewer asking, what's the new medium sales price? It's $355,000.
That's up.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's
Up from that.
crazy.
I thought it was higher. No.
But
January was what,
Done
median.
305?
So
355?
you might be considering average.
Oh.
Whereas the GLVAR, LVR, whatever you want to
median.
call it, does
Yeah.
median, right?
Yeah.
And
Might
so the
wanna answer
median
that
price
call.
is $355. Who is it?
No, she could answer the calls.
That's all right.
She's taking Brandon's
I
role,
know.
so
Take it.
she's
Brand.
just
We're totally dissing on Brandon because he's not here. But I will tell you, have you seen his office? His assistant has jacked that up.
seriously,
His
potty!
entire table is like taken over.
Right?
Yeah, called her out.
It's a good thing he's gone.
What else you got, Tom? What else you got?
So you've got 355,000, which is higher than last week by a significant amount. I mean, let's talk about this market for a second, like for real, right? For real. Like we have people that are bidding $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 above appraised value. So from your perspective, I mean, are you getting these appraisals in, Shelly?
So we're getting a lot of appraisal waivers, which is kind of crazy because most of them are coming in with higher down payments.
Okay,
to
talk
begin
about
with.
that for a second. So waivers mean what?
So we can fire off basically a property appraisal waiver just based off of a borrower's credit score, the actual property and location. And so that ultimately means the borrower has a decision whether they want to take the waiver, not having an appraisal, or to get an appraisal, which in this market, they're taking the waiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9
Because
times out of 10.
but that also means
10
that-
times out of 10.
So then the price is technically appraised at that value or it's waived at that value.
It's waived.
So-
So there's a lot of
but
criteria
now-
that's in that.
Yeah, so you have to have a decent credit score.
Yeah.
You have to have You're
What's
probably
a
checking the
decent credit score?
comparables.
So usually it's in the 7s. You're going to see 700s plus the larger down payment. But the property does also weigh into that, right? If you're putting it in because we've actually had some with lower down payment amounts, but good credit scores, and the property, it fires off still the PIW, or what we call a property inspection waiver,
Okay.
the PIW. So
Okay.
it's pretty cool though. I mean, we're getting them really on refinances, like on almost all of our refinances for conventional financing. And so let me back up on that. That is
Except
just
for the one that I
conventional.
needed at $635.
Yeah.
I was
Like
gonna
that
say.
came in close, 605.
That's $30,000.
You
off.
too came in and said, "Hey, this is gonna be tough to get to 635, but let's just see what we can get."
But I figured you could do it if anybody could. I figured you would.
Yeah, I'm not the one appraising it though, but I would have totally if it were me.
Yeah.
No.
So
So that's just for
Listen,
conventional
banks.
financing,
Okay.
the property waiver. So FHA, VA still traditional. You got to go out and get an appraisal. So that is where it's been a little bit tough is for our VA and FHA borrowers that they have to be prepared if they're going to be bidding over and the appraisal comes in short.
Yeah.
They got to come in with it.
So let's talk about that. So as far as like looking for
Whoa,
buyers
whoa,
right
slow
now.
your road.
Hey, come on.
Brandon's not allowed to talk until
Oh,
like 30
okay.
minutes
Oh.
into the whole.
Oh, gotcha. All right, let me just check
Just
my
kidding. I'm
check
just
my
kidding.
email then. Let's.
Ask your question.
Well, I forgot now. I
Appraisal waiver.
don't even know.
Let's talk about cash.
Oh,
paying over.
I was going to ask, like, so for buyers, I mean, is that a strategy to then, for somebody that qualifies for, I don't know, let's just say 380, right?
Yeah.
Or let's say 400, make it easy.
Yeah.
So do you then show them properties at, what, 350, 360, just so that you can get a property? I mean,
So
is
that's
that,
what we were talking about in one of our previous shows, is that the only
You
way
have
that
to
you
do
can
it.
actually do that is that you have to show them at a lower price point. Because you
Right.
start showing them in 400, they're going to fall in love at 415.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
And that's going to
So-
be way out of their budget because we're no longer allowed, like, buyers can't just come in and say, oh, I'm going to look at a house at 415 and bid lower for
Right.
it. I mean, they can.
well, no, but you as the agent, right?
Yeah.
You're steering them down to,
We're not steering
steering, no.
anybody.
Well,
The starting point would be a little bit
we
lower.
are recommending
You're
that
advising,
it is
yes.
it is good it's good practice to go lower
Yeah.
so that you have enough room. Yeah,
Makes sense.
So all of my
Yeah.
clients, I'm pricing
Yeah.
them at about $100,000, so they have $900,000 to put in for above appraised value.
Gotcha.
900,000?
Yeah,
I was
Valerie totally missed that.
I'm like,
I'm
wait
not,
a second.
I'm not even listening anymore. I'm like, okay, you've lost me.
Can
It's
you
okay.
hear us in the?
Hello.
Fortunately, yes.
Oh, rudeness.
Brandon, when are you coming back?
Rudeness.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I mean, I have a borrower. He did just that. He started out, qualified at 290, rates shifted. So then, of course, it was kind of like, well, now you're down to like 280. But he didn't realize the bidding war, and so he was going in at
Yeah.
280 and thinking he can come in right at 280. Just not going to happen. So he's now settled into like a 240, 250 range to be able to qualify him for a little bit higher in hopes that the appraisal comes in. And then we're also preparing him for the possibility that if the appraisal comes in lower, you got to come up with a difference.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
if you don't
yeah.
get a waiver.
Yeah.
yeah, he's using
FHA.
down payment assistance, so he's FHA.
But he got a house.
We're still looking.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the other thing is that
Yeah.
you've got to, if you're going FHA, you don't have enough money to put down at above appraised value, and then you're getting a little bit screwed.
Well, the good news
Same
is
with
he's
VA,
been
right?
looking for like 2 months, so he's saved up a few thousands of dollars, and so he has some extra cash on that to be able to pay over appraised value if he needs to.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's also, the other thing that I'm seeing is this time frame in getting going to view the homes, right? By the time you go preview the homes, there's like 20 offers on it, and
Right.
when do you pull the trigger on actually submitting the offer? Before, after, or whatever?
I was talking to an agent on, whoa, I just got really loud. What happened?
No, you've been low.
Being
No,
Max,
I
are
haven't
you-
been. So
Mic check.
I have an agent.
Do we not do a
No,
mic
I think
check?
it was more of a ear headphones.
Just pull
check.
her mic.
I
down.
know.
So-
This is my role. This
This
is where
is
I realize. This is realize why I'm here.
Yes,
Stop it.
good job.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hair. The hair.
So what is happening right now?
Just trying to fill my role
I can
here.
see.
Are you a fluffer?
Yeah.
You're the fluffer. For that.
That was me like several years
So
ago. We're not
listen,
gonna go
before I
back
forget
to-
my thought. So I have an agent
is
who was
also
looking,
off.
who is looking at property,
The
and
chips
can
are
you
out.
pay
Oh,
attention?
sorry.
Focus.
You know I have ADD, right? Probably not the right person to have on the show with two
in
other
the middle.
people. I feel like I'm in a volleyball match.
Do you want to move? Do you want to switch spots?
Right, Tom?
Do you want to
Tom,
switch spots?
He's
or-
like,
Yeah.
I've been in that seat
Yeah,
before.
This is not fun, Tom. Like, do I go here? Do I stay here?
She actually
Shift.
sat down in your seat. I'm like, you better move because that's Vandana's chair.
I don't mind. We should play like-
Chinese
yeah.
fire drill. Want
Oh,
to?
I shouldn't
Or-
say Chinese. Why is it
yeah.
gotta
Oh
be
What
my
about-
God!
What is that?
Why-
What is the game
why-
with the chairs?
Why is it gotta be Chinese?
Isn't it?
What is this game with the chairs called? The one that you used to play where you, oh my gosh. you
It's
just-
the musical chairs.
musical chairs. Yeah, we could do musical chairs. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind.
Thank you, Tom.
So I have an agent who
Tom,
went.
you got
who
another
Can you
question?
listen to me for a second? I got an agent who is showing property, and he says by the time he gets to the house, there's a line out the door of agents just waiting to show the home. And so agents are staying inside of houses, writing up offers right
Isn't that
there,
crazy?
so that they don't,
Wow.
so that nobody else will come
Yeah.
in.
So my question is, are they socially distanced?
Yeah, so
6 feet-
oh, I don't know about all that.
No,
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I actually drove by one just the other day, and there was like, I mean, they had little X's out. In
Oh
front
my
of the house. Yeah.
goodness! Wow,
Yeah, it was crazy.
So
I mean,
nuts.
but
It's a
it
little
was
banana.
Have we ever been? Because we've been in
Yes.
the business a minute, right?
Yeah, so this
Yeah,
happened
Tom, I was gonna
2006,
say.
2007.
It's deja vu all
This
over
is-
again.
Yeah,
Everything
this
is
was
deja
everything
vu.
like that.
Everything.
I literally
Yeah.
used to
I
show
remember.
property,
Yep.
come outside, write the contract on
Yep.
the car, and present
back
it.
in.
Wait for the listing agent to come back so that I could go present it in front of the seller.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise there was no way my client was going to get the house. Everybody else is going home and then faxing. You remember the days of faxing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no more, right? I wasn't
I
going
mean,
to email.
I
I
would
wasn't
even
do anything. Just
for escrow. Even when they would open up escrow, I mean, they would look for any little thing, cancel it, and then go with the next highest buyer.
Wow.
So
Like
crazy.
that's what we're seeing now again, and so it's almost like we are having to kind of rush everything just to make sure, because everything is just
So fast.
yeah. I mean, they're looking for that.
They're
out.
looking for an
Yeah, not
excuse.
saying out, but
they're
you
looking
know.
to find the next buyer. They want to make that extra
well, they know that it's
5,000, the
not.
extra 10,000.
I would like
or
to
whatever.
think that there's, for the
Reason.
seller that there's options, right? They've got so many different options. So if a buyer's not performing, they've got
Yeah.
a secondary option now that is probably higher. And so for us, it puts stress on us to make sure that we get everything in, and especially like EMD receipt. I know right now in escrow, title and escrow, they'll probably be happy I say this because the biggest frustration that we have is not getting all the information up front, like the seller information to actually get,
Or the buyer's information to send the buyer.
and even get seller, like just to notify seller stuff, and we don't get that in. And so the delay goes on and on and on, and you can't get EMD receipt and opening packages because we don't have the information. You do a fantastic opening. Tom's rolling his eyes, but I know
Tom,
she
you
does
should use this for the nuggets.
She
on
does a
Thursday.
fantastic opening to escrow where
Stop
she
saying nuggets on our show.
I
Sorry.
hate nuggets. Yeah,
Nuts.
Like, yeah, but nuts.
Don't say those either.
She does great nuts. She's got great
Stop it.
nuts.
Uvulas?
No, but like for agents, right? Like identifying when you open
Beta
up.
says what is
right?
faxing.
I know.
Sorry.
God.
So when I open up, talk
Yeah.
about me. Go ahead.
Yeah, talk about me. Let's go back to V.
Well, she's number one team
She's
in the
number one
company
team,
and number two.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Something,
Okay.
something.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me again.
So
So I do a great
she
job
does a great
at
job
opening
when you
escrow.
opening up escrow because she identifies the commission amount.
Yeah.
She identifies what side she's representing, all of their contact information. Here's their email, their cell, their everything to contact them directly, along with the buyer's agent information. All of that is included in the opening email, so escrow agents don't have to constantly go back and forth. Which is once they leave a file, for them to come back into a file, if you can get it all in one shot, it literally expedites everything by a day to 2 days.
I know.
So think about just 1 to 2 days makes all the difference when you're trying to close. And she does a really
Having
good where
contact
there's
info.
everybody knows, like, just check her opening email, and then everybody goes back to the opening email, and she's got it all there.
So do you send it or does your TC send it?
I do. I send it.
Really?
Because it's also the time that I introduce my TC and I say, this is my
Oh.
TC. Please make sure that
My
she's on all
BAC,
correspondence.
anything, any other
Right.
fees.
There's a broker additional commission. Here's what we're charging. Here's what the other side gets. Here's how much,
Everything.
it's
Yeah.
all in there. So that way they have one good reference point. Now, if I represent the buyer, I'll send an email with the listing agent's information and my TC, but then I'll go back in and send a separate email with the buyer's contact information. Because
Yeah.
I don't
want the
right.
seller
I don't
to
want
have the-
right.
yeah.
I don't need their contact information to be going to anybody else.
Right.
So,
Ah.
and it's funny, I just started doing this maybe 2 years ago,
I don't
3 years
know,
ago, but
it's helpful. It's
yeah,
so helpful.
It just, because there were the same questions that kept getting asked over and over
Over and
again from the escrow officers, and I was like, well, I
It's
can
so
just,
redundant.
I can
Yeah.
just fix this.
Yeah.
They send the packet over to the client. Before, the packet used to come to me, and then I had to forward it. Now they just send it directly.
Ow.
Sorry.
Dong.
It's all about efficiency. They just send it directly. And the thing is I do something similar to that for clients. So anytime I've got a client that's in escrow, I'll send them the contact sheet, who they're going to hear
Yeah.
from, the TC's information, and then all of our timelines. Here's what day here's the due diligence period and when it ends. Here's when the contingency ends for the appraisal. Here's when the contingency ends for the loan. Here's when we're closing. So here are the things that you need to do in the first week. Here's the things that you need to do in the last week. And so it's just so much easier. But yes, I send those because they're important for my clients to get them. But I'll tell you, who doesn't do that kind of shit? iBuyers.
Why isn't there
right?
an
Doesn't-
app for opening escrow? There isn't. Well, when you say opening escrow, because there's so much private information, right?
Yeah.
So an app. I mean, we have secured servers that actually do now. Like we have direct communication with the consumer now, that they actually have a portal that they can communicate with us back and forth on for the life of the loan. So if they come back 10 years from now, we have all of their information in there, stored in our server. So with apps, I mean, it's similar. It's a separate app link for us now, but
Yeah.
that is one of the reasons why a lot of title companies don't do that, is because it's not secure and they don't take the additional. It costs millions and millions of dollars to secure financial information. So if we're putting Social Security numbers, date of birth, all of that, we're responsible for that data. So luckily, because we're under the FNF fully, they spend millions on that, on the security of it. So we do have that, and it is new, but it's not common.
Well, it would be great if there was, through like our system, our transaction system, if we could just say, so-and-so, send this to this particular person. You guys would have access to it, and you could just get that file and all the information that you need. We're not there yet, but I'm sure we're creating an app, so I'm sure there's going to be an easy way to do that.
Yeah, I think that
so the
there's
signature app will be able to.
Yeah, partner component to it. So it'd be something
Yeah.
that lender.
Well, same with you, because
title.
you guys would have, confidential information as well that you couldn't just put out there.
Right.
Well, and the best part about sending that email up front versus me getting all the documents is when you guys send me documents from escrow, I end up having to to go through like a secure site and log in.
I hate that.
And all
That's
that BS.
why-
And then it drives me bananas. And if I just give you the contact information for my
Right.
clients, they get to, I mean,
And
not to
to-
drive my clients bananas, but
Well,
it's easier. It's just one step less
The
that has
thing
to
with
go
that
through.
too is it takes the onus off of the agent when
Correct.
when we send it direct to
Yeah.
the consumer, and then your guys' liability is released and it's back on us, and that's what we
Yeah.
want. Beta just asked what is faxing, and that is so.
That was so
that's
5 minutes ago.
Well, I think I'm in shock
He's
because
still
like
in
I feel so old.
I know. It's like,
There
what is
was a
AOL?
time, so back in 2003 when I first started real estate, I would buy fax machines for my clients.
Are you serious?
Yes, I
That's
bought.
a cool
I
closing
legit.
gift.
No, I
Oh,
bought
opening
it.
gift.
Opening gift. So when they open, that way I wouldn't
Oh
have
my
to drive to
gosh.
their house every single time because that's the only way we
Wow.
could get stuff signed. So they would get copies of everything and then they would scan it back. They would sign it and fax
That's
it
a
back
great
to
idea.
me.
So I was
I mean, we
with a
don't
client
need
doing
to do that shit anymore. But
You should be buying them computers now.
shut
right?
up.
Or just a phone. Could
Speaking
you buy
of
me a new
Foley.
phone? Foley.
Foley, yeah,
Foley,
she
yes,
said Foley.
Foley.
She talked about Foley's like 5 minutes ago,
Like
and I
10
figure
minutes, yeah.
we're on a 5 minute
sorry,
delay on
okay,
everything that's
what
happening in the
about Mr.
world.
Foley?
VGK's open back up. Our arena is
That
open.
was- Have you been back?
Yes, we have tickets, and so
Tonight? Are you
Yeah.
going?
We give them to the
Tomorrow?
employees first.
Aww. So I went back.
Are you not an employee?
I mean, I'm giving them so.
Oh,
it would
got
be
it.
sad if I'd be like, I'm going to all the games. You know, like I should give them to the, make
Yeah.
sure everybody's-
Staff and make sure
yeah,
everybody's
you-
happy. Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was
You
cool.
went.
I did. I went on the first game back. It was cool.
Was it?
It was nice to
quiet?
be back.
A
It
little
was
bit quiet,
quiet. It was weird that they play like the undertone of the audience. So
Yeah.
it kind of like when you hear it, you're like, man, we need to be rowdier because
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
hear the whatever you call it, the air filter or whatever. But it was really nice to be back actually,
That's
just to be
awesome.
able to see the guys and
Well, they feed off that energy.
yeah,
They
and
really do.
Yeah. So I mean, all the same things, not same things, because there really is no intermission. So when it goes dark on TV, it's dark inside of the
Oh,
arena.
really?
I mean, not, you
Yeah.
know what I mean. The
Yeah.
things they used to do, like the whatever shows that they do.
Oh,
in
the guys
intermissions
that
and
did
stuff.
it?
They didn't do 'em.
through
No.
No?
that through T-shirts
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff. and-
Cameron's not there doing any of that stuff.
No
and,
way.
But it's still, I mean,
Yeah,
it's still
geez.
cool to be
Yeah.
in there. It was fun to
Well,
be
it's
in
going to
there.
open up to
Excuse me.
50%, I believe, right?
Are they?
Yeah, I think in April is what they're shooting for is 50%.
Well, we're supposed to be 100% open in May, is from what I
Get
hear.
out.
Well, 50 VGK, supposedly 50, and then in April. So if you're saying May, then that would probably go
And
in line.
I will say this because everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you're going into it's 2,600 people or whatever." They did an amazing job getting us in
So-
there, checking us out as far
Yeah.
as health, making sure that we're cleared from that standpoint. They have the app that everybody
Clear.
has to go through. Yeah, that's the Clear app. And then how you get in, you go in every you go in pods, right? So depending on where you're actually seated. Everybody goes in, you're socially distanced, you go up a different elevator, and then you're actually lined into the correct concession area and then your seats. And then you can't leave until your pod is called up to leave. So it's not, at the end of the game,
Yeah.
everybody's like rowdy and
Yeah.
whatever. They actually, it was very coordinated in getting us out of there too, from a parking and getting out of the
yeah,
garage as
they're
well.
very,
That's awesome.
they're so organized.
It was really good, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good. I know because everybody was worried about like, should we go back? Should we not?
Ah.
Like,
Yeah.
but
Wow,
if
I
they've
think-
done, I had a friend of mine that went and she said that you can't even get up like to go really socialize. Like once you're there,
Yeah.
you're there.
Yeah.
And you can only go to the concession and back. Like you're not
Correct.
supposed to congregate.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was the best part of going to the games. Well, no, I mean not the best part, but it was a good part of it.
Yeah, I agree. But just social interaction in general, right? So it was a nice family event, which we haven't had an ability to really do and enjoy together like that in a long time. So that for me, that was like hands down the number one thing about being there.
Yeah.
And seeing Flurry, but I mean whatever.
Flower, love him.
Yes.
Yeah. So they
It's
were
pretty
they
amazing.
doing like the charity things and stuff or no?
They did the raffle. That was
They
a
did.
little, it was a little on the soft side, but
We already
you know.
answered that question,
Oh,
Valerie.
okay. I saw her. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Just
Where's our viewers at?
Yeah.
I don't see Kim. Where's Kim?
Kim's not on?
Kim.
Well, Tom, it's because Tom is here. That's why.
No, but
Oh.
Kim is
Kim usually
always
pops on.
her husband and Shelly's husband.
He's at
and-
the gym. He's like, "What time is it at?" I'm like, "Every single Friday at 1:30. Every single Friday."
I told you this before.
I know. Except for the times that I pre-tape it and we need to move because Vaughn and Brandon's schedule. But for me, I'm along for the ride whenever it is. 1:30 Friday.
Very cool. All right, so let's talk about the eviction nonsense that I was dealing with, right?
That was a good video you put
Oh,
together.
there's Tyson. Hi.
Hi, Tyson.
Just busy with work. But Kim, you better be paying attention. Hey,
I know.
Scott. Thank you. So I actually testified yesterday in front of the Judiciary Committee as well as Tom, and then another one of our agents, Erica Aki, who actually was a landlord who's been affected by the eviction moratorium as well as, with COVID-19 and whatnot. And so there is a bill that's coming about called AB 141. Valerie, are you listening?
I'm taking it all in.
Okay.
Taking it all in. That's why I'm not even looking at my phone. I'm listening. I'm just practicing here to just listen to you, V.
Yeah, your time's
Here-
coming up in about
yeah.
5 minutes, so be ready.
So
No, I was actually interested in this.
Me
because,
too.
Yeah, because there's
So-
so much conflicting information out there,
Yeah.
and
what is
obviously
it that
this-
you want to know? But because I'm talking
Well-
about a bill and you're probably asking about the eviction moratorium. They're not
See?
the same.
There you go.
Well, I will. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think identify that. I mean, talk about that. Like, why? what
Why are
was
they
that
different?
Yeah.
So the eviction moratorium is actually something that was that is in place because of the governor here in Nevada as well as the CDC. Okay, our eviction moratorium is ending at the end of March, end of this month, as of now, with no, maybe it's going to be extended, maybe it's
I thought
not.
it
We
was
don't know.
June.
Hold on,
Yeah,
calm
they
the hell
extended
down.
forbearances.
Then calm down. That's Nevada, right? And then
I
you've
know.
got the CDC.
5 minutes,
You've
we
got
might
the
calm down.
CDC
No.
eviction moratorium that was
Okay.
extended by the president,
Yes, that's
right?
June.
And we are
Okay.
hearing that it could potentially be until the end of September.
I'm just going to tell you, it's going to get extended, and they're not going to do it till Christmas, and then the Christmas
Right.
they're going to
No,
do
no,
it
no.
again,
So
then they're going to do it this
even
time
if
next
they
year.
do,
So
even
next
if they
year.
do
That's
end of
the crystal ball.
September,
Yeah.
right? End of September, you're looking at October 1st, and then
No,
by the
they're not gonna
time
do
the
it by
courts
then.
get back in, no, people are not going to be evicted until like January 1st, even if it's
Not even
extended till
January,
September.
because they'll wait till February, March, and then that's
Yeah.
when they'll do it.
Yep. So 2 years of non-payment. And so that's the eviction moratorium, right? So it's weird because I can say this, but when I get to the court and I'm sitting in front of the eviction court judge, he doesn't get it either. Nobody knows what the actual right path for this nonsense is. You have a tenant who isn't paying rent. And so they are qualified under the declaration. CDC and Nevada have two separate declarations, right? But they're pretty much the same. One of them, Nevada doesn't require as much as the CDC one does. But when you have tenants that provide you with both and it's non-payment of rent, they don't get evicted.
They don't get evicted. And
Okay?
that's what you were saying.
But
with-
if you have a tenant that is not paying rent, that has their lease over already, right? So that now they are a holdover tenant in month-to-month tenancy, and you give them a 30-day notice and they don't move out,
then you can evict.
you're supposed to be able to evict. But if they provide you with the declaration, the judges sit there and scratch their heads when you get to court.
Huh.
Because they believe that the reason you're getting rid of them or getting rid of this tenant is because they've been not paying rent. And so you're finding a different way to circumvent that non-payment of rent protection that they have under the declaration. So they're not,
Is it federal versus state? Is that why?
it doesn't matter. State, federal, doesn't matter. If the landlord's been provided with the declaration in any way, and there's a non-payment of rent issue that is part of the landlord-tenant experience, then the judges are looking at it like, well, you're trying to circumvent this procedure and get by on this declaration when entirely it's because they haven't been paying, you're trying to get rid of them. Because if they were
So it could
paying,
for any
why
other
would you give
reason.
them a 30-day notice? And so it's up to us as the landlord and the property manager to prove that either they don't qualify under the declaration, which is a nightmare, by the way, because I can't ask. So if you tell me, here's my
Yeah.
declaration, and I declare that I make less than $99,000 a year, I have applied for assistance for some form of assistance for
yeah.
CHAPS or
CHAPS,
whatever,
yeah.
and I have what's the other one? Good Lord. $99. Oh, and if I move out, I'll be stuck in I'll be either homeless or in a facility where I could potentially get COVID, right? Or spread COVID. And so those are like the trigger words, right? So all three of those things have to be declared. Now, when I get into eviction court, I can't ask before I get there, or even at eviction court, I can't ask you as the tenant.
Those qualifying
You declared that you make less than $99,000 a year. Can you prove it? provide me your bank
Why
statements.
can't you?
It's not allowed. Everybody's tiptoeing around this process because we've been told that you're not allowed to harass the tenants. Otherwise, the attorney general is going to be after you and they're going to file a complaint and blah, 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 blah. And it's just been, I think that's been the frustrating part is that I understand that there are some tenants, and I say this all the time, there are some tenants that are truly affected by
Right.
COVID-19, right? I have friends that are, I've seen people who are, I know that it's a thing, right? People have been laid off or not gotten as much money because of COVID or, not working at all. And they're now working on, Postmates or driving or whatever. I get it. I totally get it. But because of the way that the laws are, people are taking advantage of it. And that's the part that sucks. But when you look at it and you go to court, so now you were in the middle of a legislative session, right? So we have legislative sessions every 2 years on odd number years. So we're in the 81st legislative session now, and there's bills being presented, and most of these bills are landlord-tenant bills that are affecting real estate. There's other stuff that, trickle here and there or whatever. And so I'm going to just right now just say that this is my views only. And not the view, Signature. Right. Well, and I don't represent Signature. I mean, I do, but I don't, as far as these views are concerned, I don't represent Signature, the associations, the state, the local, the national. This
Beta,
is me.
can you put the fine print in, please?
Yeah, this
Can you
is
type
your
that?
disclaimer.
This is
This is all me.
Yeah.
And so,
RealtorVandana@gmail.com. Go ahead.
correct. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Realtor Vandana, YouTube Realtor Vandana, also on Facebook Realtor Vandana, also on Twitter Realtor Vandana,
And
TikTok.
She loves rentals.
Right. Yeah. Oh, let me not get started. Don't get me started on that. So Section 8 rentals.
She's a professional in Section 8.
So AB 141 that's being passed, which is a bill that, or not being passed, sorry. Hopefully it's never being passed. I'm going to throw that up because I didn't mean to say that, and I'm hoping it never gets passed. But AB 141 was presented by, is it Assemblyman Watts? Assemblyman Watts, who presented this bill, and what it says is that the evictions for people who were affected by COVID, and this is the part that bothers me. There's 4 other points in here, but the one that bothers me the most is that evictions are going to be sealed for people who are affected by COVID. But and I gave an example. Did you watch my video?
A tenant, you mean?
Did you watch my video?
Yes, I
yes?
did.
Yes.
By a tenant who was evicted. Did you? So you
I
didn't
did.
watch
I
it.
did. Yeah,
You
I
did,
watched
but
it.
she
Yeah,
didn't.
I did.
I had a tenant.
It was yesterday, right?
Limiting
That
my
video?
social media.
And being intentional.
Yes,
being
it was
intentional and
It was
laser-focused.
yesterday. So I did an TV video yesterday about the bill and the effects of it and an example of it. So I have a tenant who lived in a
Yes.
property. It was great. It was a great video. It was.
She did not make number 1
Tom,
team and number 2 in the
get this
company
straight.
for nothing.
It was great.
It was a
wasn't
great
Yes.
good.
video.
It
It
was
was
great.
a phenomenal video.
Section
So
8.
no, not Section 8.
Sorry.
I have a tenant who lived in a property, $3,500 a month in rent, Red Rock.
has a dog.
Wow. She has a dog?
I do not have a dog.
No.
$3,500 a month in rent. Now this was a tenant that I
That's a big house.
inherited because the landlords
You
had
can
changed.
inherit tenants?
Right, because the landlord had changed property management companies in the midst
Oh,
of
okay.
an actual lease agreement.
Okay.
This is a long story.
It is. We got to get
You
through
still
another
got
30 minutes.
It's
Is it
Valerie's
your
turn.
time? I'll just stop. You guys, if you want to watch that video, go to Realtor Vandana on
Katie, can we
Instagram.
pop
I'm
it
just
into
like,
our podcast?
is there a point to all of this? Okay, so
Well,
I
you
wanna hear
wanted to
the
know the
point. Yeah.
difference. No, watch the damn video. I'm
Wait,
done
hold
telling
on
you
a
the
second.
story.
So I'm a landlord who's being impacted by this. So what can I do as a landlord? Delivery.
Delivery.
Sorry,
Postmates?
we're gonna pause for our station
thank you,
identification
guys.
for.
Thank you.
So we'd like to thank
No,
Gabby,
okay.
who's not working right now, Brandon. But she just,
That's Haley.
Oh, Haley. Why did I
One
say
has
Gabby? I
sugar.
meant Haley.
One
Oh,
has sugar.
which one's mine?
2 do not.
She went
Mine
to go get a
says no
Starbucks,
liquid
but
cane.
it's okay.
She has no liquid cane.
Yeah, so just watch the video because I think you're going to have to watch it in order to really understand. But ultimately, this tenant was getting evicted, and had this bill been in place, he could go and do this to somebody else, which I think is unfair. So if you as a landlord, they're like, I'm willing to give people a chance, right? But you'd want to know that. When you seal evictions for people who are taking advantage of the system, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing in there that says
So the bill went was presented yesterday?
To the to the
And
Judiciary Committee, and then I don't know what happened to
What
it.
happens after that?
I'll
Or
find out
so
next week.
It just gets presented, and then you got to wait?
And then they debate. They go,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. So
They
it's
debate on it. Assembly people debate on it, and they
like
talk
a week
about it.
process, 2-week process?
Well, there was last time this happened, there was a call to action.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Was it a
Elisa
success
asked where
that-
the link is for the video. So it's actually on my Facebook page. You can go to.
We will drop it inside of Real Estate Exposed YouTube channels, Facebook. But if you do happen to stumble upon Realtor Vandana on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, you may find
You
her
may
video on
find
there.
your video.
The video's on.
Yes.
There. It's
Yeah.
from yesterday. I just posted it.
It's a
It's about
phenomenal
5
video.
minutes. Shut up, Valerie.
But here's the thing that I don't. A lot of legal
Still
jargon in
talking
there,
about
right?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Just about the video. So
There's no legal jargon in there.
I'm a landlord.
Oh.
What? Basically, what you're saying is I cannot evict my tenant.
So the point of the video, by the way, was for you to oppose the bill and let your legislature know that you are opposing this bill because they look to feedback from their
Yeah.
constituents, right?
Yeah.
So because you're the ones that are voting them in, you and you and
Why are you
you and
pointing
you
at me?
and
I feel
you.
a little-
Everybody's voting them in,
It's very
and so it's
hostile
important.
environment.
So it's
Seriously.
important that you guys know what's happening, what they're voting on,
Yeah.
and get your voice heard. Because
I
if they
think-
don't know that you have a problem with it, Val,
Yeah.
they're going to vote on it based on their own, their
Well,
own
and
whatever.
I can tell you for the consumer standpoint, right? Because I consider myself a consumer in this section because it's so
Overwhelming.
confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I thought we were talking about the
Eviction
moratorium.
Yeah.
And it's something completely separate.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
separate, but in the same family.
No,
but
it's
Same
totally
business.
it's,
separate
yeah, so I'm saying like that's what's confusing.
How's it
And-
separate?
because it's a bill. It hasn't even been passed. Have you ever watched that video about It's a Bill
Oh,
from Sesame
yeah.
Street?
It's
Just
such a
the bill.
great-
It's just the bill.
And then he hands it off and he.
I think-
No, is that
it's
like
so
where
awesome.
back in the days
I
of
will-
faxing?
I will
Beta doesn't even know what Sesame Street is.
I
so.
know, right? Do you know
I will
Elmo?
drop it. Cookie
I
Monster.
know. Cookie Monster.
You know Cookie Monster.
Oh my God.
Oh.
We're so old. We're so old that this market doesn't even scare me.
No, it doesn't.
Is that
Yeah.
crazy?
Been
Right,
there,
Tom?
done that. Here we go
Doesn't
again.
Yeah.
scare me. It's like we've been there, we've done that. We know now what
We
to
lived
do.
through
We know
it.
how to
Mhm.
like handle it. We know agents know how to write offers. Well, most
Most
of them
of them.
they know how to write offers and know how to kind of advise
Present.
their buyers and sellers. So
Yeah.
I
The thing
agree.
is it takes a little bit harder work now
a lot more
in
work.
this market
Yeah.
A lot
than,
more
and it'll continue to be that way. Now I've heard predictions. Tom thinks it's going to be like this for another 5 years.
5
Um,
years?
Yeah.
No. 2022.
To 20
So 4
We're-
more
next
years.
year we're
I
gonna-
think we're going to be done in a year.
2022?
Yeah.
I
I think 2022. No, he said
25.
25. I know. That's
mean
why I
25
stopped.
when it's
so
gonna
I
go
stopped
down?
listening to him. I didn't listen to him
Or-
before, and then I really stopped listening to him after
you mean
that.
you think do you think the REO you think the REO market will be back to where it was? Like
No.
okay.
No,
No.
REO. No,
I don't think
I mean,
so.
look how fast the banks came to rescue,
Mm-hmm.
right? Really, the forbearance piece. Remember how long it was? We're like, please give us credit amnesty. Please give
But
us
the
credit
difference is that
amnesty.
we're in a pandemic right now.
Right.
Like this is different than
It's
what
self-inflicted.
right?
Yeah.
No, what happened last time
Kind of is.
was your fault.
Yeah.
Whoa. Because
Well, no, the lenders.
The
I mean,
lenders!
it was
It was
so
the lenders'
laxed
fault.
And
They-
it was so
Yeah.
I agree. I think it was. Yeah, I totally agree. It's a completely different scenario.
because we were
but-
doing some like
guys were
breathe
doing
on
some
a hot
shady
mirror or breathe on a mirror type financing.
right,
Yeah.
as long as we can
Yeah.
see your breath on that mirror,
Yeah.
you're qualified.
Just for the
what do you want to
record,
buy?
I was not one of those
500,000, 1
lenders.
million, no problem. We got you. Don't worry. You just go find the house, and then I'll just write up the paperwork.
Yep.
Go make
Yeah.
it happen. Right.
I agree.
No, not everybody was like that, but yes, I do understand what you're saying.
Well, and let's talk about forbearances because, from our standpoint, I can just tell you on title what agents are constantly calling right now about is,
Yeah.
can I get a list of forbearances? Can I get a list of like to target and whatnot?
Oh.
And I'm like, one, that it's not public record.
It's not,
So
yep.
you can't legally give a list out that is
Stop
up-
saying nuggets.
I didn't say
Who
nuggets.
said
You didn't.
nuggets?
Don't worry about
No,
it.
she
I
didn't.
saw
Who
it.
said-
There's
No.
too much nuggets in there.
Who said nuggets?
They're Chris
Where?
Bishop.
Who's Crystal's
Oh,
Crystal
nuggets?
nuggets. It's a long story.
Oh my God. Hi, Chris. But yeah, so
Forbearance
for one,
list.
it's not a record, so you can't just call and get that list. And if it is, if title companies are giving
It's
it
not
out,
a foreclosure.
well, but
Right.
not only that,
It's
but
not
if they
public
are giving
record.
it out, it's not legitimate information. So it's not valid information. So don't.
So is
don't
it? It's
buy
not even a
into-
notice of default
It's
at
not
this
even a
point
notice of
because
default.
once you
Nope.
trigger a forbearance,
Right.
the default doesn't kick in. It almost like
No.
stops it dead in its tracks.
It's not.
It's like the eviction with the declaration.
Well, it's like an addendum.
That's how I compare
it's an
it.
addendum to the mortgage, right? I mean, it's almost like
It's-
it's a pause on the mortgage, but it's not. It doesn't trigger anything. There's no notice of sale or notice
Right.
of default that actually follows it. So, what my point was, every other call that we get right now is, hey, can I get a forbearance list? Can I get a forbearance? And I'm like, why? One, why? Two, no, you can't. I mean,
Well,
people that are giving those out, they're not legitimate lists. And two, know that when you are targeting these people, they still have 2 years worth of options. In my
Yeah.
opinion, of like
Yeah.
the banks working with them and whatnot. So it's such a small percentage.
Maybe
of
that's
people
where
that,
Tom's coming up with that 2025 is because there's
'cause
still 2 years.
I mean, really,
from
2
now.
years for that the banks are actually going to have to really deal with it, and that's our
But I mean-
crystal ball because of where we've been, huh, Tom? We've been there, done that. We know. We were at those
So
conferences.
you'd really
were
be in
you.
a
So was
tough
I. I was
market.
like-
We got equity though
Yeah.
today, right?
Right.
So
There
you're
was no
not going to
equity back
see
then, right.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, for now, if our market continues to do what it's doing, right, which is homes are being overpriced, overbid, overpurchased on what the current values are we going to end up in the same type of market as 2007, 2008?
No.
No.
So 2007, 2008, remember the builders, like they were going gangbuster on building at the time.
Well, and their builders are going gangbuster right now,
to,
too.
because
They're
they got to
pulling-
catch up.
they're pulling
They got to
permits.
catch
They're
up.
pulling
Yeah.
permits like
Right.
Because they
crazy.
stopped. Remember
Yeah.
COVID? They were
Yeah.
like, everybody hold. But if you think about ages, this is something I actually just heard about today. So in 2006, the 33-year-olds who were supposed to be coming into the market, there wasn't as many people then, but the builders had oversupply of all of these homes.
Right.
I remember being in that environment trying to close 10,000 units all by themselves, building all this home. They didn't have enough people to actually service that. Plus all the the housing crisis happens. Today, we have like 12 million of households from 2007. 12 million. There's only 3
12
million.
million more or
People?
12 million.
More.
Yes,
People,
more people.
yeah.
And only 3 million of homes that are available on the
Right.
market today to sell.
Yeah, our
So-
population.
wait,
The
hold on.
shift.
I don't understand that. So you have 12 million people in Vegas.
Not in
More
Vegas,
than-
just
No,
across.
not in Vegas. Just
yeah.
Oh.
population. has
Populate
increased
baby
by-
boomers, like the
yeah.
Gen X's came out and started or maybe the millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I
we
can't
don't
hear
have
him
enough
through the headphones.
homes
Yeah.
that to take care of all of our
needs
right.
that are, yeah.
all of the actual people that are actually ready to buy homes.
Oh, got
that
it.
are
got
in
it.
that
Your
Okay.
demographic
millennials-
to buy.
Got it.
Yes.
In the demographic
Yeah.
to buy. Yeah.
Because there was a time when your millennials were, I guess, that it was a big deal to have babies, and so they have babies, and they're now ready, 33, and they're ready to go and buy some homes.
Yeah. So it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen in the market, right? We don't
We
have
do.
a crystal ball.
Huh,
I mean,
Tom,
we don't
we know.
Tom's Nuggets.
I don't
Tom and I
think
know.
I don't.
We're-
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But there have been some conversations about, well, what will happen if buyers agents just stop showing property this weekend? Like everybody just stops, right? And now
Why?
you've got. But listen, so then you've got sellers who've got offers that are just waiting and holding 15 offers to get the best one. Are not going to have 15. They might have 5 or
Yeah.
7, right? But I mean, we have a client that's looking to buy something April 1st. Needs to be in a house April 1st.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm coming this week. And I'm like, yeah, but we're probably
They're
not
gonna
going
say,
to find
"Sign."
Yeah.
anything.
Go in
And if-
offer- go in
hopefully
contract
we
now.
can, but
It's
if we
like
can't.
on April 1st.
Right?
April Fool.
Right,
I messed with
exactly. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting. It is interesting.
It is
I
interesting.
can't see the too many people on this planet. That's right. There are too many people. It's like
Bitcoin.
Hey, you know the whole thing with COVID. If you want to go into like the whole religion factor, like there's theories out there like it's the big, Jesus is coming down and
Is
wiping
it?
everybody out.
Yeah, this is the first time I've heard
like
that.
It's like
Really?
What what's
I've
it
never
called?
heard
the,
that before.
what is it? You know what I'm talking about?
The
Ash
last
Wednesday.
Huh?
The Last Supper?
What is it?
rapture,
Rapture?
the revelation.
Yeah, the revelation.
Yeah,
So
revelation.
there is that theory of the revelation right now because
That
we
this
are
is
so
it?
overpopulated that it's the revelation. It's part of the revelation. Yeah.
Oh. God
Yeah.
just needs to build more homes. And then our
So we
industry
just
will
One
need
more
to
land.
need
A
to
bigger
pray.
Earth.
Yeah.
We need a bigger,
a bigger
Earth.
Earth. Yeah, well, that's why we're going
With
to
more
Mars.
land, right?
Yeah.
That's why Elon Musk is sending us to Mars.
yeah.
Is he?
I don't know.
Is it inhabitable?
Is it? I don't know.
I'm not willing to buy there
I
yet.
just signed up to apply to be one of the 8 people they take on the moon on space.
Nice.
Oh,
to be
you
one of
signed
the
up
8?
Is it because you have Bitcoin that you're able to do that?
10,000 people. I'm sure there were so many people.
Hey,
on
let's
those.
talk about Bitcoin too. No Bitcoin in escrow, guys. Sorry, everybody keeps asking.
No. So we
Bitcoin.
talked about this
What? No,
actually,
keeps
but you
coming
can.
up.
But you can.
Well,
It has
but
to
you
go
can.
into their account.
Hold on.
Okay. Yes.
So you
Yeah.
guys can't do cash,
Well,
right?
well,
you
yeah.
need cash. So in order
Yeah.
to pay for anything that goes through escrow has to be cash.
Well,
It can't be through Bitcoin,
money.
but you can
Money.
do
Yeah.
money.
Cash is
Yeah,
so.
so cash is
Okay,
so
I mean, like-
Vegas-y.
I know. Like,
Sure.
Strip.
But
Not
you
that
can
cash.
do Bitcoin transactions. They're just not for the entire amount.
the Bitcoin has to come into a U.S. funds, right? Like a bank account.
Correct.
For us to use it.
Correct.
It can't just come from Terrible
So you
Herb's
gotta cash
ATM
out.
machine because that would
they,
be.
they have to cash out the Bitcoin,
Yeah.
which is then it's a regular transaction. So what people are asking, well, can we buy with Bitcoin? I'm like, how do we verify the freak? No. There's for a reason. There's a reason, beta, Beta. I don't want to be like how they
Beta.
are yelling.
yeah, but we want to see it. Okay.
I want to be yelling, Beta. They're yelling. I'm like,
Are we? 'Cause
trying
we're
to
very
retreat
passionate
here.
about
You're
Bitcoin.
very passionate.
Yeah, it's
Very
it's a
passionate.
thing.
So in other words, if you go into escrow with Bitcoin, everything the transaction of the money has to be outside of escrow because we can't confirm because it's not fluid.
Fluid?
It's not fluid, like because it's
So
not
how do I get
Yeah.
title insurance? I got to pay for that in cash.
She's
You gotta
saying
pay.
she
You
will
could pay.
not.
Like we'll
So
insure
can-
you all day long. Like it doesn't. You could pay the fee and all of that, but like the
So that can be
confirmation
cash.
of the wire, like the confirmation of the money that comes in from the lender or the consumer, we can't verify Bitcoin. You can't really because it's a moving target, right?
But you
It's
would
like a-
you would never know if it went into my Chase account and then my Chase account
No,
wired in, right?
right.
Yes, but the bank actually, I'm sure there's something from the bank that would
Correct.
would have an
So
issue.
yeah, so
Not
if
issue,
they cash
but-
out or they go into the bank and they go into the banking, it's just a regular
It's not- that's
transaction.
right.
But
Yeah.
many of these are like, hey, I want to buy with Bitcoin and I'm going to use the lender, and I'm like, okay, well that's
Totally
the lender
different. Mhm.
because the lender would have to accept those funds. But for
Yeah.
title right now, people are wanting to pay cash with Bitcoin. It's not cash. It's not fluid cash. So there is no way to do that unless they did it outside of escrow. So we would handle the escrow exactly everying as is, and then when we got down to
Minus the
confirmation,
money.
minus the money, then that would be handled between the parties, and then the parties would confirm, and then we would have to have some form of confirmation.
so you could
Yes.
ideally have attorneys
You could, yeah,
facilitate the
correct.
transaction of the Bitcoin, and then you guys facilitate the
The
title and
escrow.
escrow part
Yeah.
for the actual, not the funds, but
to make
everything
sure
else.
encumbrances and
yeah,
all that other liens
yeah, because
and
that's
crap
what we
are-
do is for the
Yeah.
liens and judgments and
Yeah,
stuff. So,
got
but
it.
the money part, like we get every day, I get a call about Bitcoin, and I'm like, no, not yet, not yet.
So every other day you get a call about Bitcoin. Every
And
other
then
day
foreclosure,
is
forbearance.
forbearance.
And then the third every
I will-
other day is you.
The- what was the craziest request I ever made? I already know
Oh my God, you
What was
had
the craziest
so many.
one?
The one with boob jobs.
this. Yes.
She called me and she said, "Can you farm by people that have had boob jobs?" And I go, "One, why?"
Yes.
Let's just stop there and say
really?
why. And she
And
said
how?
because there's a probability of divorce after
Oh, my
a female gets a boob
Lord.
job, and there's a probability of high divorce. Then I said, okay.
There is.
One, I think I've never in my 20 years ever been asked that farming question. That's the number one farming
Leave it to
question.
Vandana.
Yeah, I'm like, boob job. I'm
I'm just
we
trying to
could-
think
no,
outside
And is
the
it
box,
breast
yeah.
augmentation
Yeah.
or is it boob job?
No,
Like
boob
what?
job. It's
It
a
was-
full-blown
It
boob
was
job. It's a-
breast augmentation.
Oh,
right?
was it?
Yeah, you did
Oh,
say
I
breast
don't remember.
augmentation. I said, okay, that's.
But I mean, some of
Yeah.
the stuff that you pull up has some.
We could pull up some like whether you have dogs.
Listen,
cats,
I want
you. know.
you.
How
yeah,
after
but I
10
want
years of
you,
knowing-
I want you to survey your friends who are divorced and
Right?
got boob jobs, and how sooner
I know.
thereafter
I
was their
know.
divorce.
Yeah, I know.
Let's
I
do a
agree.
survey. How
I
many of
agree.
you have breast augmentation
Yeah.
and are now divorced?
Yeah.
Tom Blanchard.
No, I mean that's something that I literally had to sit back and I had to read the text like probably 3 or 4 times because I thought like, am I drunk? Like
It was
did
the
she just
funniest
say
thing
that?
because so Julie and
Or
I
is
had
she?
Julie
Yeah,
Youngblood
is
and I
she
had a
drunk?
conversation about it, and so I was like, well, if anybody can get it done, let me find out. And so
Yeah.
I sent it to
I was
Val,
like,
and she was
wow.
like, what? So it was the 3 of us that were also on there, all 3 prior wives.
Yes.
There you
Oh,
go.
my Lord.
Is that true?
All 3 prior wives.
Oh,
Yeah.
see?
Oh, you're for
Okay.
real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Boob job divorce. Boob job divorce.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is some truth to that, but we can pull by, you know,
I think
it's
there's a
crazy.
higher percentage, a majority,
Well,
right? I'm not saying everybody who gets a
think
boob job
about
gets a
this.
divorce, right? So please don't. That's, again,
Think about this. We
Me.
can actually pull by algorithm of divorce. So when you're in your home and you're typing up divorce lawyer, divorce,
hate my
so-
husband.
hate my whatever. So that algorithm gets pulled by data. We can pull that data of likely to divorce based on their
That's crazy.
IP search history. So that is
Stalker.
crazy. So if you think about that,
That is
like,
stalker
why
style.
couldn't we pull breast augmentation,
equal
right?
divorce.
Like, why
Butt
couldn't we pull
implants.
butt implant? No, oh my God, why?
Oh, Jim.
Why, Jim? Why? Why would we want butt implants? Like, why?
Sorry,
Like, what is
continue.
that?
So you
Because
Sorry.
some people
Okay.
can't get a deep squat, and so therefore you can't get glutes. But you got to
oh
buy
my
the
Lord. Oh my Lord.
right, Beta.
This is like, this is X something. This is not real estate X.
Exposed.
This is exposed.
Yes.
This is
We are
exposed.
exposing
yeah.
shit here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
yeah.
So
So you
no
can't
to
find-
forbearance.
No to forbearances.
So right
and
now,
no
no
to breast
Bitcoin.
augmentation.
Listen,
is
so
equal.
Valerie's phone number is
No,
702-528.
Are you seeing an uptick in
401-1404.
Shut up. You have my phone number.
realtorvandana@gmail.com?
And she loves rentals.
You guys are putting my shit out there right now.
Your shit's already out there.
That's true.
Did I say that out loud? Oh my gosh.
Well, it's better than the text I got earlier. You're like, I want to tap that shit. I go, hey, hey.
Whoa,
Hey,
that's just
whoa.
between friends.
Whoa.
That's not intended to be on
Whoa.
air.
Hey.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Okay,
Like-
now we like how because now they're gonna think that I'm not the normal prude that I have been playing on TV.
No, Shelly will tap that ass.
Oh my God.
because we got our marketing guru.
my mom watches.
Oh,
So
sorry,
does mine.
Mom. Sorry, Mom.
Oh, and my husband. Just kidding.
Hey, the husband's like, bring
Listen,
that Shelly home.
I know.
Hey,
Rich, if she asks you about a boob job, you know where that's going, right?
Whoa.
All right,
Exposed.
so
sorry, Tyson. I know.
You know.
It's crazy.
Yep. So
What's
Brand
happening
is
in
never
here?
going to be gone again ever. Brand is going to be like, I cannot ever leave.
We forgot.
or maybe
guys
he's
just-
enjoying this more than
you guys
anybody
just got
else.
sanctioned.
knows, right?
Exactly. All of us.
Sanctioned by the
Come
real
back
estate division.
anytime.
Yeah. All
That
right.
can't really happen because
Okay.
we have fine print, so that's we're
Yeah.
okay, right?
We do have fine print. Yeah. We curse a lot. We say stupid shit, and we don't research anything. So welcome.
We're a bunch of knowledgeable
Welcome
people here.
to Real Estate Exposed.
Yeah, exactly.
Building the fan base.
Okay, so funniest real estate story you've heard.
Aside from the boob
Why
job.
do you
in-
keep asking that?
Because I think I love this shit
Does this change for you every week?
all the time.
Really?
You don't have like the weirdest. Okay, so
I
weirdest.
had
How about
one-
weirdest?
I had one where a guy came into escrow and was buying a house for his mistress and the wife didn't know. Like they were both
Yes.
signing on a
But don't
property
they
and they
have
were
to
yeah, exactly.
What?
There was a lot of and I was like, whoa. Yeah.
What about the quick
Yeah.
deed or
Well, no, that's so
no,
they
so the
were, like,
husband and wife bought it together
Yep.
for the mistress, but the
but it was
mistress,
just
but
my
the wife didn't know about the mistress.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa. Like that was
So
that
is
was
there
a-
is there
That was
crazy.
confidentiality with that?
Well, yeah, because we're
But she's
neutral.
not
We're a
me.
neutral third party, so I just sign.
That's crazy.
Don't do it.
There's counseling. Yeah, do you put a counseling card next to it?
Yeah, like put a little note going. It's not.
Oh my
to you.
god.
That's
just
a
kidding.
little
Yeah, it
crazy, cray.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a crazy story.
That
Right?
is a
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah,
story.
That was a good one. I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting.
Nuts.
And that, and I mean, we get all the time where the wife doesn't even know that the property is owned by husband. We get
Yeah.
that.
What?
That's pretty common.
Well,
Yeah.
I found out a lot of stuff during
Yeah.
deposition.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
bought property, didn't know that they even own property. Yeah,
Huh.
that's pretty common.
Or had a couple million in a TD Ameritrade account. I mean,
That I see a lot too. It's always one of those things.
You had some crazy stuff come up in yours.
walked in on an agent having sex in the master bedroom.
That's normal in Vegas.
Is
feel like
that
that-
called the primary bedroom?
There was the primary bedroom now, but it's an MB, which is considered the M stands for primary. So we have now there's
That's-
in the what
That's what it's called. That was masturbata.
masturbata. Oh,
I said MB. That's what I call beta. MB.
so
Sorry. Nobody's listening. It's
are we
only
still-
Tyson, Tom,
all
and
those
Chris.
We have 14 thumbs up. That means somebody is
okay,
listening.
good.
and all those comments, even though it's really just Tyson and Tom and
Jim
Chris
and,
Tom.
yeah,
Apparently,
we-
they're having a great old time. We have a peanut gallery in house again, but for some reason, it's not as distracting today as it was when Brandon was here. For some reason, it was weird because I think he was so involved with them.
Yeah.
It was hard to like concentrate. I'm like,
Pay
I can't
attention.
do it again.
Women can ignore very easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've done it our whole life.
We do it every day.
Every
Work
day.
and at home.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have any funny or crazy stories. I just asked the question. I figured you probably saw it more than I did. I don't have any crazies.
I don't either.
I don't have any crazy stories.
I have a lot more, but we'll just end it there.
No, but that's why you're here.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Did we ask her about her car?
Oh.
That always seems to be something we have to
My car?
pull out.
Yeah. What was the first car you ever owned?
Honda Prelude.
Get out of
What?
town!
Oh my
What year
God.
and what
What?
color?
Oh my God! Why is that?
That was me.
Really?
Yes.
Let's
I knew
see.
I liked you. What are you laughing at,
87?
Beta?
Yeah.
Beta's like, what's a Honda?
What's a Honda? Actually, yeah, you don't even know what a Prelude is, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
I still have one sitting outside of my garage.
Yeah. Honda Prelude.
What was
87.
my
Yeah.
husband-
Do you know
This
what
is
a
an
Pinto
87.
is?
Pinto Bean?
Have you heard of a Pinto?
He's
The
like,
car?
I love black beans and rice.
You've heard of it? Okay. So how have you heard of a Pinto but not a Honda Prelude?
You've
Well, 'cause
heard of
I
a
don't even
Honda
think
Prelude.
Honda-
You're freaking Filipino.
Oh.
Civic.
So racial profiling here
No, I
happening through
didn't.
Shelly Panzarella.
First you said Chinese
Sorry.
chairs. and
Very
now she's
Asian
like,
specific.
"Man, you
There's
sure
fine
are-
print on this.
You're very racist, Shelly.
Very racist.
There's fine print on here.
Pinto, yes. Was that your first car,
Okay, I
Scott?
put it
What
on.
was your first car? Was it a Pinto as well?
I put them on.
I book it.
So you had a Honda Prelude. Do you remember the color? Pay attention to me.
sorry,
I'm talking.
color.
Sorry.
What
I was
color?
talking Tagalog to her.
I know. Not on the air. It's not good for us to talk about that on the air.
Nobody will know what it means. It's okay.
Beta's here.
All right. Can you talk about rates? We've only got a couple more minutes.
Oh my gosh. So
month.
rates
Did
are
they go up a bit?
They're up.
They're
Yeah,
up. They're up a lot of bit.
Yesterday
what's up?
too, we had we're like locking in the 3.5s.
That's still
Is that crazy?
low.
I know, but
We're
so
still
we were 2.75
low.
like less than 2 months ago.
2 weeks
Tom,
ago. 2
shut
weeks
your
ago.
mouth.
If like that. Over like last Friday, one real
Dude,
estate
she-
goes to the next.
She falls in her house. Did you hear about the
Oh my
when she fell down on her stairs?
No.
She fell down in her house
Because
on
I was
the stairs
listening to.
because the rates had gone up and now they're up again.
Because I mean, it's a traumatic
No,
experience.
but Tom,
right?
like, I mean, honestly, like, I have to, again,
Why
the
do you keep
age
asking
I know,
Tom?
we're
He
here.
was
Tom
right
and I
here.
are like, right. This,
No, pretend he's
age-
not here.
like-
He's not part of the show.
she's she gets so upset.
Oh, man.
Anyways,
So
back
I-
to me. So the rates are up.
Brandon,
and
help, Brandon.
we are still half a point below where we were this time of the year. So it's great. They're still great
low.
rates.
Yeah.
So low.
It
Yeah.
is low. I get it.
I
But
think
it's-
we don't need to emphasize, like, oh my God, they went up. Like, it's still so low.
They are still
I
up.
agree.
You're right.
I agree.
They didn't. Yeah.
Look
I
at
still
that.
remember, like, I used to sell 17% mortgages, like, back in.
Tom Blanchard had a 20. That just ages Tom
20%.
Blanchard right there.
Yeah, I was going to say 17%. You
That's-
had good credit. if
That's
you
when
had
he bought all of his
17%.
shirts too. I think back in the
Our newest sponsor, Tom Shirts. So Scott had a 64 Ford Galaxy or a 68 V8. Wait, what is happening right
What
now?
is that?
How did that even
Oh,
go? It's
VW.
What is a
Tom
Ford
Shirts.
Galaxy?
VW.
VW.
That's a classic.
Yeah, but what's a 64? Did you have two cars? Like when you first, I don't understand.
Pinto
Scott.
and a
Pinto
68
and a
V-dub.
68 V-dub. That's a classic now.
and then a
68
64 Ford Galaxy. Was that your second car or your
Ford
third car? I'm so
Galaxy. Is that like Star Wars? Are we like going back to the? What's
And then Jim had a Camaro Z28. But Jim's got a pretty badass car right now, too.
Jim.
What does Jim drive?
Jim, what do you drive?
The Camaros are still. They're still good.
Yeah, I think he's got a Porsche.
Beta has a
Lamborghini?
This was a mongoose.
What's a
He's
mongoose?
still driving his first car.
All right, so last week, Val, we
Beta's
talked
still trying
about
to earn his first car.
Oh, these youngins.
So Val,
Yes.
last
Plymouth
week we
Sapporo.
asked about everybody's favorite Girl Scout cookie flavor.
There's not one. It's all.
Yeah. I know, but if
And
you had to
if you had a
choose-
choice,
Mints.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if there was only one restaurant because you're stranded on an island, what would that restaurant be?
Lino
was-
Michigan.
Really?
Every day you would eat
I would
nachos
eat-
and enchiladas and
there's
burritos.
So much. There's tacos and enchiladas and tostadas and
You don't think you get sick of
nope.
like Mexican food all day, all
No.
night, every day?
I love my people.
Huevos rancheros.
I love my people.
Huevos.
We are the way of the world.
Really?
That's awesome.
You are so
What did
silly.
you say? A diesel crew cab. Wow, he's going big now.
He's had multiple
Oh,
cars.
now
so
he has a
Okay.
2019
So
Mazda
Scott-
C.
Oh, I did see that pretty car. He
Yeah.
just got his new car.
See, I figured I would go
Jeez.
to Cheesecake Factory because then you could have any
Salads?
different thing you want every day for
Multiple.
the rest of
That's
your
a
life
good
because their
idea.
menu's
All right, I'll
massive.
change mine to
Gigantic.
cheesecake.
See?
I like Lindo.
Because you can have Mexican food there too.
You could.
Yeah, wouldn't be real.
It w-
It's not real Mexican food.
who do
Yeah,
you
you're right.
who do you think's cooking in the kitchen? Also,
They're not
racist.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
They are not at
Oh,
Cheesecake
wow.
Factory,
No.
man.
You don't think they are?
These ladies need to
We
go
are
to
gonna
like
get
a.
shut down.
I know.
Shut
You
down.
guys need to go to a.
It's because we're brown. We're allowed to do it. It's true.
We're very proud.
All three of us are. Holy shit!
I think I'm the
Jing.
lightest.
You are the lightest.
You are.
It's all that makeup. it's
Today,
also the
yes.
blonde.
Yeah, but it's not my makeup on my arms.
It's all-
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comparing
Three
skin tones.
shades.
Is this show almost over?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a
we're-
wrap.
That is a wrap. You silly goose. Thank you. So
Thank
with
you
that,
for coming to our
Ashton.
show.
Oh,
Thank you
Jim
for taking
drives an
over.
Aston. That's cool. All right, guys. Whoopsie. Oopsie.
you're so
Oopsie.
loud.
Jing. All right, guys. I'm going to say bye. So if you're, make sure that you pay attention to us and do the thing that you do on YouTube, which is
Like and subscribe and smash the notification button.
what she said. And then like us on Facebook. And,
Only thing I get to say in this damn podcast.
No.
It's your role.
And thank you so much, Valerie, for joining
yes,
us this week. We
welcome.
appreciate
Are we
you.
going to see you? I haven't seen you in like ever.
Yesterday.
Oh, yes, yesterday. But I mean, it's been like forever.
All right, you
All right,
guys, have a
Beta.
good one.
Cook,
Bye.
That's a wrap.